Okay, I'm not sure if I'm live. We'll wait and see. Hi, Murphy. All right, here we go. I'm live. I don't know if there's anybody here yet, but we'll wait and see. Usually Nancy's here right away. Murphy and I are here. All right, so just welcome whoever happens to hop on. For today is Sunday, June 14th of 2026. So if you're popping in on the replay, that's great too. And if I see you on the live, that's great too. So today we are going to be sewing up the Juniper Clasp wallet from Emmaline bags. And this is a really, really cute small wallet. Yeah, I'm surprised there isn't anybody here yet, but I'm sure people will see that I'm live and they'll hop on soon. But anyhow, Murphy says hi as usual. And okay. Oh, hi, Wendy. Yay, somebody's watching. Okay, Murphy, down you go. That's a good boy. All right, he said hello. Hi, Wendy and Candace and Julie and Lisa or Lise. Sorry, I'm trying to read from the bottom of my glasses. I should just look at the computer over here. It's a bigger screen. So I hope you guys can hear me okay. I've got my very old Jabra Bluetooth for my phone I use as a mic. Oh, and Sylvia from Austria. All right, so we've got Wendy and Candace and Julie and Lise and Sylvia from Austria. How cool is that? And Cynthia, hi Cynthia, and Julie. Oh, and you can hear fine. Thank you so much. And Wendy is from Burnaby, BC. Yay, Canada. All right. So who else have we got? We've got a few people watching, so that's great. So I've already done a tutorial on the Juniper Clasp wallet from Emmaline bags, but I just wanted to show you, these are the two that I have made. So this one is using the Moroccan blue Morafo leather from Emmaline bags. And I made it to match this, I think it's the Hinterland by Lavender and Twine. Unfortunately, we can't do Lavender and Twine tutorials, which is too bad because I love this bag. But I made it to match the Juniper or the Hinterland. And then this is the one that I did for the tutorial. And so there's already a tutorial out on this one. And then this fabric is from Sam Fabric Creation in Quebec, as well as the interior waterproof canvas nylon. I call it waterproof nylon. And then this one, I use Sam Fabric as well. So this is a really, really cute wallet. It has 8 card slots, which I love. So you have 4 here and 4 here. You have a zipper pocket on the back for your coins. And then you have a full cash slot here so that you don't have to fold your cash in half, which I hate because, of course, our Canadian money, once there's a fold in it, that's it. You're done. All right. And of course, it has a flip lock. And this is a really great wallet. Now, Lori from Wild Pony Designs has another flip lock type wallet out there as well. It's her accordion wallet pattern, and that pattern is on geniebags.com, I believe. Oh, hi, Valerie. And oh, yeah, it's from the UK. So we've got Austria and the UK and Canada and the US. And Valerie says, how happy I am to catch you live from the UK. Well, you're always sending such wonderful comments on my videos. And I'm so glad that you're actually here personally, sort of. But anyhow, so one thing also about this Juniper wallet is inside, I hope you guys can see it. I'll try and get my light here. But inside this hole, there is a really cute way to make it, to finish it off so that you have a finished seam inside and you don't see any raw edges from cutting the hole like I messed up on my first one. You can see the raw edges that you would normally try and trim off as neat as possible and then edge coat. And I went and did this wrong. I followed the pattern wrong. So you know what? It doesn't matter how long we've been sewing for or making bags for. I mess things up. You don't see it in my videos because I have the benefit of editing it out, which is great. And Montejos from Arkansas. That's wonderful. We're getting quite a great crowd here. So today's Juniper wallet, I am using, of course, fabric from Sam Fabric. Now, this is a great pattern. It's a great scrap buster pattern. So the fabric that I'm using, the exterior is this really nice sunflower faux leather. And the interior is this waterproof nylon or canvas from Sam Fabric as well. Now, this is about a 300, 400 denier. There isn't any PVC backing, and it's got a nice substance to it. So there's no interfacing that I'm going to be using. But in this pattern, and the link is in the description box below. Oh, and yeah, Cynthia says, I love this pattern and I made one so far. So if you're not on my Facebook group, in Facebook 360 Handmade Bags, join it. There is a link in the description box below as well. And check out the Juniper wallet that Cynthia made. It's really, really cute. It has paw prints, of course. Who doesn't love paw prints? And the interior card slots is a nice bright red. So, hey, Nancy, she made it. Yay. So anyway, so yeah, so all the links are in the description box below. The link for the pattern, the link for some Amazon products I may show you. I don't have an Amazon store anymore. Somehow I messed up setting it up and they put me in Amazon jail. But there's some links there for some of the things that I use. Sam Fabric Creation fabric, all her products is in the description. The pattern is there, and my Facebook group is there. So if you haven't joined my Facebook group, join that, and then feel free to show what you have been making too. To show us all of your makes too. So I was really glad when Cynthia posted her Juniper wallet. So let's get started. So, oh, and also this is an optional piece. So this is the RFID or Faraday material. And I get that on Amazon. So the link will also be in the description box below. So if you have it, you can put it in your wallet. It's supposed to block out anybody trying to scan your cards inside your wallet. However, if you're holding one of your cards at the cash, and somebody has one of those scanners, they can scan your card because it's out of the protection of this. Thanks, Nancy, for posting the link to the pattern. And Colleen is watching from Fort Worth. So I love doing the romper room thing. I just love it because my name was never called on a romper room. So anyhow, there are the two junipers that I made, and this one that I'm making today. So there's a tutorial coming out for this bag. I did this a few days ago, this bag, but I wanted to do the live, and I'm making this wallet to match this bag. This is the Marzia bucket bag from Core Threads. Look at this. Isn't that adorable? This is the Marzia bucket bag. So I say in the tutorial, I learned doing this in this bag, doing a lot of new skills. So one of them is grommets. I have never used grommets before. So I've used grommets. There's a lot of different skills, and I do mention them in the tutorial. And I made mistakes while doing this, and I tell you that I've made those, but they kind of self-corrected. But this fabric is from Sam Fabric Creation as well. This bag has two side slip pockets and a front and a back slip pocket. Now, it's not, I have a Samsung S25 Ultra phone. So when you put your phone in these, because the bag's about 9.5 by 9.5 inches by about 4 inches, my phone sticks out, but I put it in the back slip pocket because when it's up against my body, because there is a removable strap, a shoulder strap. It's not, this one's not adjustable, and it also has grab handles. And if you don't want the removable shoulder strap, you can extend the length of these handles to make it longer and still create a shoulder bag. But I love the look of this bag. It has purse feet. And of course, the fabric I used is from Sam Fabric with this gorgeous sunflowery pattern, as well as the solid faux vinyl. But it's, and the interior lining is the same as this from Sam Fabric. So like I said, it is a scrap buster, and this is a really, really cute bag, and I'm kind of liking it. The only thing I might do different is I might interface this piece, this base piece, more so than I use. The interfacing I use is the EB Fuse heavy woven interface from Emmaline bags. So one layer of that is equivalent to SF101, I guess. In the base, I used 2 layers of that woven interfacing, and it made a little stiffer. So on this base, I may do the same. I may put 2 layers so that you don't get this squishy look, but it is kind of a slouchy bag. You don't want it too stiff along the top here, because this is where your drawstring is for the for your drawstring and the grommets. And that's another thing. I've never done a drawstring either, but such a cute bag. And inside there's a nice slip pocket that will fit my phone. I'm not one, I don't like having to open up a bag personally to get into it. I like being able to stick my hand into it. So I'm kind of getting used to this. I'm trying it out, but that's one thing I might change. It does have a magnetic snap instructions in the pattern, and I may not, next time I make this bag, I probably will not put a magnetic snap in it, because once this bag is you use the drawstring to close it, it's closed, and this holds it pretty good, this little drawstring tab. All right, so let's get on with the Juniper wallet. Let's just see who else. Oh, so Valerie just bought the pattern too. And so Cynthia says she's not fond of bucket bags, but that one's gorgeous. Oh, thank you. And oh, so Nancy's also posted, you might be able to see it. This is my own pattern. It's in the description link below. It's the CherAnn Bestie bag. It's also, I put it on all my description boxes just in case somebody wants to buy it. All right. So anyhow, back to the RFID. I digress a lot and chat a lot. So Amazon, the link is in the description box. It does fray a lot. So, but a lot of time, you trim off those and kind of take a lighter to the edge. So on the exterior piece, I have already put my bag tag on. I'm just using one of my older ones. This one has more of a yellowy hue than the rainbow purpley blues. And I've already made my zipper box. Now I'm using, on these ones, I used a number 3 zipper. And like I said, it's a scrap buster. I didn't have matching zipper teeth. If you don't, you know what? Don't worry about it. I use what I have on hand. It's like when I bought the tool to do the grommets for this, it came with nickel grommets, and my hardware is gunmetal. I'm always about matchy, but sometimes, you know what? I'm not going to go out and spend the money and get something just to get it for the one-time use. So like on these, I just use the number 3 zipper by the yard. And then I had this little zipper pull. Same with this one, a number 3 zipper and a number 3 zipper pull. But today I'm going to be using a number 5 zipper with the antique brass and the antique brass zipper pull, which I have already put on. And then the, find my scissors. Oh, there they are. And then I have the flip lock. I got these on Amazon, and the link should also be in the description box below. So these flip locks are from Amazon. I buy my fabric, I buy all my hardware in bulk. So I typically get it from Waywack, or I've been finding it a lot cheaper on Amazon. There are a lot of great websites in the US. You guys have a lot of websites for different things. Not here. And unfortunately, I can't purchase from the US because it just costs too much with the currency exchange and then the tariffs that the US government has put on everybody. So unfortunately, so this is the flip lock. I'm going to be doing it in antique brass. These ones are closed end flip locks, and the ones I get from Waywack are open-ended. So these ones are a closed end, and they do have two pieces. So on the inside, you have your 4 holes on both. So you have the flip lock on the one side, and then you have the hole on the other. These ones came with a plastic film on it to protect it from scratching. The Waywack ones didn't. So I'll just take that off. The only problem is getting it off this piece with the flip lock, because it's like they put the flip lock on over top of this protective sticky film. And you got to pull it off kind of around it. All right, let's see if I can get this off without leaving any pieces of this film. Thank God for nails. All right. And it's raining today, so at least I don't have the sun barreling in on my face. So there's the two pieces of the flip lock. So like I said, I have already done the zipper pocket. I put double-sided tape around the zipper box, and then we're going to work on the zipper pocket first. Get that done. The thread that I'm using today, you can't see it, but it's and the link is in the description box. It's the from Emmaline Bags. It's the Fusion 45 tex weight and of nylon bonded thread. And the color is burnt orange. And this is a great color to use for yellows and oranges and that. So we're going to take our exterior piece and our zipper, and with the zipper pull already on it, I burnt the ends. And then we're going to take the pattern piece D, which is the 2 zipper pocket linings. And yeah, so you have the 2 zipper pocket linings. Let me move my camera. I got to see how this is going to look, and I hope I don't pull my tablet off my magnetic stand. So let me know if that looks good, and that you won't see me, but you want to be able to see what I'm doing. Okay, I'm watching it on the computer, and that looks good. There, a little bit more tilted. Okay, you can see now. I want you to be able to see my machine. So, okay, that looks pretty good. Hi, Barry Quilts. Hi, Kathy Myers. And wow, that's great. We've got quite a few. We have 17 watching. That's awesome. And I love the international people joining us as well. That's wonderful. That's what the internet's all about. It brings us all together. All right. So it doesn't matter which way your zipper is going to be pulling, to the right or the left. So we're going to take double-sided tape, and with this nylon or waterproof canvas, my regular cheapy Dollar Tree double-sided tape doesn't stick to it as well, so I use the Hyper Stick from Waywack. And and Cindy from Sacramento. Yay! So on the right side, top edge of your zipper pocket, put double-sided tape on both pieces. All right, and then take one off, make sure it sticks. Just want to make sure that you guys can see that my light is there. If the table, this jiggles like that, I apologize. My tablet is clamped to an arm on my table and Murphy is running back and forth underneath. So I'm hoping that it doesn't start jiggling too much. I apologize for that. Okay, so take your right side of your zipper pocket lining, right side up. Right side, have your zipper right side up, which is the teeth up, and center that over top of your zipper pocket piece, and the wrong side with the right side, on the right side. And then we're going to stitch that across at 1/4 of an inch seam allowance. Good time to have a YouTube live when it's raining out. All right, take your other lining, right side up, take the backing off, your double-sided tape, and then take your piece that we've just sewn across that zipper and turn it this way so that the zipper lining goes up that way. Flip your zipper up so that this edge is now showing, teeth up, right side up, and line up your side edges and the top edge of the zipper so that when you look, your side edges are straight. And then when we open up the zipper, you'll be looking into the right side of the lining. And then we'll stitch that on across at 1/4 of an inch seam allowance. And if you have to move your zipper pull, make sure your needle is down. Pull your zipper pull out of the way. Okay, now it doesn't say this in the pattern, but this is where we would lay the zipper box on the exterior. Let's move this over a bit. There, okay. We would lay it over top, but you've got these seams kind of move this over this way. Try and get, I've got to see what I'm doing here with the camera. So these kind of pop up. So I'm just going to take them and lay. You could take some double-sided tape, which I'll do, or and to fold these seams down against your lining, or you could stitch them down as well. Basically, you'd be top stitching on the wrong side. So I think that's what I'm going to do, is just flip it over so right side of the fabric showing, pull the zipper, pull that down a bit, and I'll just top stitch those seams down so that they lay flat when we're going to be putting the zipper box over top. And then it gives not that you're going to see it because it's just a wee little pocket, but it gives a little bit of top stitching on the inside of that lining. I've been trying to get been helping my mom. She's moved into a retirement home here in Wasaga Beach. Really, really nice. And it's independent retirement living. So she has people to talk to instead of just me and my sister. Alrighty. So this is what where we're at right now. That's the looking when you look down into it, and then the wrong side. So lay it with the wrong side of your lining up. And then take the backing off your double-sided tape on your zipper box on the back here. Okay, I'm just going to move the zipper pull. And I never get which way, you know, if you've got it pulling to the left, if it's going to work that way or not. But so the wrong side of your pocket lining pieces are up. And then, of course, right side of your zipper box is showing. Center your zipper box over top of your lining pocket. I'm just going to fold this back and make sure that I've got it centered. I think it looks okay. Yay. Sometimes it's hard to get it centered, but I think the number 5 zipper fits better in the little zipper box than the number 3 did, but I just kind of wanted things to match the zipper teeth and the zipper pull. All right, so now we're going to just top stitch all the way around the zipper box. And I'm going to pull my threads to the back. So I'm leaving my tails, if you haven't done it before, I'm leaving my thread tails quite long here. And then I'm just going to start stitching. All right, so I'm at the point where I can see my threads on this side. So I'm just going to pull my material back so I can see the underside, pull the long bobbin thread, pull it so you see a loop, and then pull that on that loop, and that'll pull your top thread through to the back. And then I always take my 2 threads and I tie them together so I know which ones I have pulled through. Because believe me, I've been mixed up many times. All right, and then continue sewing. And pulling your threads to the back, what it does is you don't see any back stitching on the right side, which gives it a little bit more, well, gives it more of a professional look. And then I stop sewing when I get to the point where I started. So I snipped off my long ends here, hold on to them. So there is what we have right now. You can see it. See if that makes a difference. Oh, I think it's a little better. It's just how the camera, the light. Okay, I'm just seeing it in the computer. Okay. All right, so I've got the threads, top thread and the bobbin thread. And if you haven't done it before, here's a close-up, hopefully. So there is the bobbin thread that I'm pulling. And in this mess, you can just see that there's a loop here. Take your stylus or something pointy, pull that loop, and that pulls the top thread to the back end. And grab hold of those, and then grab hold of the threads you've already pulled, and then just tie them. So when I tie my thread, I always do 2 ties in each hole. That just helps stopping it from, if you only do the 1 tie, it always pops open. And so this just helps it stop popping open. Gives it a better tie. And then just trim those off. And then just take your lighter and burn the ends. If your lighter wants to work. Okay, so there is our zipper and the ugly underside. All right, so take your top part of your lining I'm just going to pull my zipper to the center, pull it down. Yeah, this zipper pulls bigger than a number 3 would be. Pull it down so that it covers over top of here, and then just clip each side so that it clips together. Just clip each side of the lining. You're going to have to trim this bottom edge off. You don't need that. Okay. So there we are. Now we're going to sew these sides of the zipper pocket and close them off. So you're going to have your right side facing when you do that. Pull back. It's a little tight there, but pull back your front edge, the side edge, and sew. You're going to be right close to that fold and sew down the raw side of your lining across the bottom. And then when you come up on the other side, you're going to pull that side away and then sew that up, and that will close up your zipper pocket. And I'll back stitch over top of my teeth and hope my thread doesn't break, because it doesn't matter what text weight I use in my thread. My machine does not like going over top of zipper teeth. Back stitching over top. Unless I go really fast. But this is just a cute little wee pocket. It's just tiny, but just enough to put your coins in, your change, or whatever else you want in it. And of course, we have our loonies and toonies here for our dollars and $2 here in Canada. All right, I'm going to come up that other side, and it's a little shorter, tighter to get in than the other side was. Clearly, I didn't center it as well. Okay, and I'm just going to trim off these edges of the zipper and then reburn them. Allergy season, I apologize for my sniffing. Okay, so there is our cute little zipper pocket. Very cute. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm now going to take the RFID. You can base this piece on, but I'm going to, and that's your RFID piece is pattern piece I. So your outer wallet was pattern piece A. You have one exterior. Your RFID is pattern piece I. You have one piece. And then your zipper pocket lining is pattern piece D, and you cut 2 of the little lining pieces. I keep forgetting to mention that. So the RFID, I don't know what's the right side, up or not. There's a little bit of a pattern. You can base this in over top of this, but I'm just going to use double-sided tape. Oh, there it is right in front of me. And I'm going to use 1/4 inch double-sided tape just to make sure it gets caught on there, because I cut this a little smaller than the actual exterior. But yeah, you can definitely baste it on, but like I said, I'm just going to use double-sided tape to hold it on. Try and catch the... Oh, thanks, Nancy, about the thread tying tip. Okay, so hi, Kath. Okay, I'm just trying to catch all the comments. And Nancy just printed the pattern. Oh, hi, Barb. I've already given you a shout out on your website for people to check out Lori's accordion wallet pattern, and also you've got great hardware and things for sale on your geniebags.com, I think is your website. And Lori too. Hey Lori, so we have two YouTube royalties here. We have Barbie from who is Genie's Designs, and Lori from Wild Pony Designs. So, and of course Lori's pattern is on Barbie's website as well. Oh, I missed a side. I get gabbing and I forget what I'm doing. All right, finished putting double-sided tape, but I want to make sure I catch everybody and say hi to everybody. Okay. All right, so just take the backing off your double-sided tape. And if we have time, if I don't get too gabby, I'm hoping maybe to do a key fob to match this bag as well. So I'm just going to lay my RFID over top. I know I cut it shorter or smaller than what the pattern is, just maybe about 1/8 of an inch on all sides, just because I know how much this stuff frays. And I'm going to have sticky stuff there. So there's the RFID kind of just laid in there. And there is the exterior of our bag. So when it folds up this way, there's the right side. And then there's the back side. All right. Onto the card slots. So your pattern piece B, the card slots, you're going to cut 5 pieces, 5 card slots, and then we're going to sew them all and then cut them in half. So depending on what fabric you use, like I said, this is waterproof canvas or nylon from Sam Fabric. So it has enough structure to it that I don't need to interface it. If you're using quilt cotton, something lightweight, then interface it with a lightweight interfacing, but make sure you keep that out of your seam allowance. And don't make it too thick inside, because one thing I find with these flip block wallets is if it's too thick inside, then when you get all your cards in, especially this one with 8 card slots, the cards add bulk in there. And I've had wallets like this where it's so bulky, it doesn't close this flip lock as well. It doesn't close it and it pops open. All right, so you have 5 pieces of your card slot material. On 4 of them, I have double-sided tape across the top edge, and then on the top edge on the right side, and then on the wrong side, I have double-sided tape on the bottom edge. So keep those all lined up. And then on the 5th piece is going to be your base. And in the pattern, there's a measurement to draw. I hope you guys can see this. 4 lines. I gotta find where my camera is. There you go. So you're going to, there's the measurements in the pattern, and you're going to measure from the bottom up to the first line, from the bottom up to the second line, and bottom up from the third, and bottom up to the 4th line. And so lay your base piece with your 4 lines right side up, and the lines are closest to you. And then take your first lining piece with your double-sided tape across the top edge. Take the backing off and then flip it so that you're going to have right sides together. And then make sure that you line up your side edges and the very top line. And line up those together. This is where I always mess up. Okay, and make sure they're kept straight along that line. Be always readjusting this. Okay. All right, so there we have it, looking like that. And then we're going to stitch across this raw edge at 1/4 inch seam allowance. Oops, come on. My fabric slipped. This is a really neat way of making card slots as well. And you could probably incorporate this into a lot of other bags. All right, so we have it stitched across that bottom edge. Then take the backing off of your double-sided tape. It's now on the top of the wrong side, and you're going to fold that down to the next line. Make sure that you line up that raw edge with the line and that your edges are lined up and the raw edge is in line with that line. And then we're going to stitch across that raw edge at 1/8 of an inch seam allowance. To make sure I'm doing this right. And one thing I like about this lining is when I fold it, make sure that you fold each pocket, and if it's quilt cotton, iron it. But I just like using my nails across it, and I get a really, really nice crease. All right, then you're going to take your next piece and you're going to lay it along the raw edge of the 1/8 seam that you just did. So that'll, and right sides together. Make sure that's lined up and straight. So just like that. And then we're going to stitch across that at 1/4 of an inch seam allowance. All right. Take the backing off the wrong side. It's just a lot of repetitiveness at this point. And then lay this raw edge along the next raw edge. Okay, and then we're going to sew along this edge at 1/8 of an inch seam allowance. Okay. Take your next one and right sides together, line up that raw edge along with the raw edge that we just stitched at 1/8 and sew along here at 1/4 of an inch. So you're alternating 1/4 of an inch, 1/8 of an inch. Okay. And backing off at the top edge and fold that down to the next line. So over and fold that down, wrong sides together. Line that up. Thanks, Nancy, for listing Barbie's website and Lori's website. Valerie says you get to be excited because you have the 2 sewing queens. You betcha. Oh, and Barbie wants to know how I'm feeling post-surgery. Actually, I'm feeling great. It's been 2.5 months since I had that hernia out. It's nice not having that melon there. And how are you feeling post-surgery as well, Barbie? She had her hip replaced. All right, so we're going to now stitch along this one at 1/8 of an inch seam allowance. So my post-surgery was great. I didn't have a lot of super huge pain. Mind you, I have a high pain tolerance anyways. And I just took Advil whenever I needed it. I got a prescription for, I don't know, hydromorphine, I think it is. I think it's an opioid, which I won't take. And yeah, so it was great. Doing everything back to normal. Now working on losing weight. Got to get this loose skin gone. I've been on Wegovy for almost a year now, and now I switched to Zepbound because I was at a standstill with the Wegovy, and I had lost 40 pounds with that because I had to before my surgery, and then now I've started Zepbound, which affects two, the GLP-1 hormone and another one, and I've been on that for 2 weeks and I've lost 8 pounds. So I'm very happy about that. All right. So we take our last piece, right side together, and line that up with what we just stitched down at 1/8 of an inch seam allowance. Stitch that on at a, let me see, am I doing that right? I think so. Yep. Stitch that on at 1/4 of an inch. And it's cool today. It's about 13 or 14 Celsius, which basically you double that. So say it's 15 Celsius, that's 30. And then add 32, that's about 62-ish Fahrenheit. All right, and then take your last double-sided tape backing off and fold this raw edge now down to the very bottom edge and line that up. And then stitch that on at 1/4 of an inch or 1/8 of an inch seam allowance. Okay, so we have our 4 semi card slot sections, and they should all relatively measure the same unless you've been gabbing like me. So now I'm just going to flip this backing and I'm going to top stitch all of these 4 folds, which is why I was folding them as we went. One thing with my Jack industrial walking foot, I'm finding that when it gets, now that we have semi-nice weather here, and the humidity level is up, I start getting a squeak around my belt area. So I don't know if anybody else has that problem. I mean, I have a new needle in the machine and everything, and I found that when I was doing the tutorial for the Marzia bucket bag. And then after it's, and of course the air conditioning, once that starts, once we have that on as well. And we don't have a lot of, we don't use the air conditioning much in the summer here because we're in the shade. So that shades us and saves a lot as far as having using our air conditioning. But I don't have the squeak today, but I find when it's humid or and the air conditioning's running, I get a squeak. All right, there, I have stitched all of my pockets. And now, all right, now I gotta look at the pattern. Okay, I've done that. I've done that. All right, so we're going to, we've top stitched each at the top of the card slot pockets. Move all my junk out of the way so I can put this here. Okay, so we're going to flip it over to the wrong side, and then we're going to baste down each side, a 1/4 of an inch to an 1/8 of an inch. Oh, she says in the pattern, top stitch, top it. Oh, okay, flip it to the wrong side. She says baste it an 1/8 of an inch. So I'll do that. And you're going to be starting from the bottom when you baste it, because, and we're doing it on the wrong side, because you could do it on the right side as well, but you'd have to start from the bottom and work your way up, so that when your presser foot goes over top of these card slots, it'll slide over top. But if you started from the top end and worked your way down, your presser foot's going to push those out of the way. So I'll do it on the right side so I can see what I'm doing. And I'll do it an 1/8 of an inch, base the sides, because we're going to be trimming this down anyways. Make sure it's all smooth and so I don't get any bulges. Sewing on the wrong side. I feel like I'm sewing left-handed now on this side. And this is where you'll see if you lined up your edges properly or not. Okay, get my cutting board. All right, so now we're going to, there's a measurement in the pattern that we're going to make sure that the whole card slot section equals, well, she's got in the pattern 8 1/4 wide by 4 1/4. So let's measure what this is. I've got my measuring over here, see how much I'm going to be cutting off. All right, I will be cutting an 1/8 off on each edge and 4 1/4 high. Okay, I've already got 4 1/4 high, so I'll be cutting off an 1/8 of an inch on each edge. This is a ruler that I bought. It's a We Are Memory Keepers ruler, I think it is, just by the color. Doesn't have a marking on them. Anyways, I bought this because I used to do card making. And what's really cool about this is it not only has a plastic edge, which of course I dinged it with my rotary cutter and cut chunks out, but it also has a metal edge. But this little bar in the center, you push down and it pushes this thing in the center down, and that helps to hold your fabric down. So it's a really good little ruler. So I'm going to, okay, so that is about an 1/8. Cut that. Just line it up on the along my stitching. Make sure everything's straight. So basically, I'm just pretty much going to be cutting off that raw, like straightening up that raw edge on the side. And I haven't changed my blades in my cutting in my rotary cutter. And I'll remeasure this and see if I have to cut anything else off. I apologize if the camera's shaking. All right. Let's just measure this now, and it's supposed to be 8 1/4 inches wide. Okay, Perfect. Alrighty. All right, so this is what we have so far. And now we're going to, I need this back. We're going to measure into the center and draw a center line. So, okay, I'm just looking for the measurement. Okay, from the edge, 4 1/8. And that's not going to work. So I'm going to use, see if my removable marker, I can see it. Okay, I have a removable marker, and I'm going to measure 4 inches and 1/8 from the left edge to the center and draw a center line. 3, 4 1/8. Make sure it's lined up with your bottom edge and the side edge. Okay. And then I'll just make sure that that's the same measurement on this side as well. Yep. All right, so we have our center line now. And I'm going to stitch 1/8 of an inch all the way. Trying to see how the camera is. I'm going to stitch 1/8 on either side, 1/8 inch on either side of the center line. Okay, just like that. And then we're going to cut along that center line and cut these 2 card slots in half. You can use your rotary cutter. I'm using my Kai scissors that I just got and invested in. What a difference it makes for cutting. And I posted this link for them on the description box below as well. So now we have 2 separate pieces for your card slots, and they should all fit really nice. All right, so now we're going to get pattern piece C. So you can see how tiny some of these pieces are. So that's why I said it's a really, really great scrap buster. I'm just looking at the comments. Oh, 82 degrees, 79. Feels like 97 in Pennsylvania, Cynthia says. Okay, so Cynthia says, I'm an enabler because she's going to make another Juniper. She's cutting it out now. It's a great wallet. And Barbie says she's doing great. Some days are better than others. Typical healing process. Yeah, for sure. I think someday I'm going to need to get my knees done, which seems to be a hereditary trait in our family, and hips. But from 40 years of wearing stilettos as a school secretary, and I was told, oh, you're going to ruin your feet, you're going to ruin your knees. And I didn't care because they looked great. I didn't care. I was wearing my high heels, I'll tell you. So Nancy says she's made 3 so far, and they're just lovely. It's a lovely wallet to make. And oh, so Nancy, hi Nancy. She says she's about 3 hours south between Lake Huron and Lake Erie. Oh, okay. So are you kind of in the Cayuga area, sort of? I have friends in Cayuga, and she's a quilter. Leslie, we went to high school together at Canadian Forces Base Borden, where I grew up, which isn't far from here. And she bought my Juki TL18 QVP that I had originally bought for bag making, and It just didn't do everything I wanted it to do. So anyhow, all right, so get your center piece, your center strip, pattern piece C, and it's just a wee little tiny piece. And you're going to put along the bottom edge of your card slots, you're going to clip that on one of them. And the seam allowance in this pattern is 1/4 inch. And then you're going to just stitch across the bottom here 1/4 inch. Make sure I lined it up the right way. Okay, and then you're going to take this raw edge and clip it to the bottom edge of your wallet. Make sure your edges, your side edges are lined up. And stitch that on at 1/4 inch seam allowance. All right, so there we have our 2 pockets with this little tiny slip of fabric in between. And when we open it up, our seam allowances, sewing that on, match. So now what we will do is we're going to just do we're going to stitch on the inside of this fold all the way around this box. And that'll hold that seam allowance down on the other side. And I will back stitch. So we're just going to kind of top stitch about 1/8 inch there. Welcome to all the new people that are here as well. That's really great. Okay, so Nancy says Ilderton, Ontario. I'll have to look that up. I've never heard of Ilderton. All right, so there we have stitched our little box together, and we're going to lay that card pocket piece right side up. Then get your pattern piece G, your bill's pocket, and you're just cutting one lining. Now, the measurement, there's a measurement across the top and bottom edge is slightly wider than top to bottom than the side edges. So make sure that the wider piece of your lining piece is at the top and the bottom. And just take them and flip your right side up, flip it over top and clip it down the right side edge of the card slots, making sure you line up all your edges and corners. Janelle stresses making sure that your pattern pieces, when you cut them, because it's a cut chart, is that they're very accurate. I'm not the best cutter in the world. And so I really make sure that when I'm cutting out these pattern pieces, I'm really accurate in my cutting. But all right, so we're going to, all right, I've done that. Okay, so we're going to stitch down this side that we've clipped at 1/4 inch, and then we're going to come out about 1/16 inch and make a second stitch line. And that's a reinforcement stitch line. Oh, it's pouring rain out now. Okay, and then we're going to trim off. So we have stitched the 2 stitch lines. Then we're going to trim this off to 1/8 of an inch from the first 1/4 of an inch stitch line. Yeah, 1/8 of an inch from that first stitch line. Trying to get this measured right. Okay. This is where it starts to get bulky. Alrighty. All right, so we've got it stitched down and you have a really nice thick edge. So then we're going to take this piece and fold it back and then fold it under. And then we're going to fold it so that it's probably about 1/8 of an inch that you can see on this edge. And clip it and then top stitch that down. Making sure that your lining pieces, all your top and bottom edges match and that it's even, that this little edge here is even all the way down. So welcome, Nancy, who lives a couple of hours from me. It's nice to see you here as a first timer. All right, so we have that edge clipped and I'm going to just top stitch 1/8 of an inch in just to hold that down. I don't think this step is in the pattern, but I just like the look of it and it's just nice to be able to hold that down. Oops. All right, so there is that side, and it looks really nice. Like it has a really nice finished look to it as well. All right, next step. Okay, so that's on the right side, and we fold. So this naturally folds back once that's top stitched there. Now we're going to take another little skinny piece. It's pattern piece F, the left side strip, and you've just got one lining piece cut with that. And we're going to lay that down, right sides down along this piece here. And clip that, fold it down the way so it lies. Oh, sorry, I'm just looking at the pattern, left side strip, so through all 3 pieces. Okay. So actually what I'm going to do is I'm going to run double-sided tape along here to hold it down, because we'll be stitching that, so it's right sides together. We'll be stitching all the way through all of that. Okay. All right, and right sides together with this little skinny piece with the edge of your cards, the raw edge of your card slots. I'm sticking. Okay, and then we're going to stitch. I'm just reading it. Okay, we're going to stitch 1/4 inch seam allowance down here. And then we're going to add another row of stitching beside it. Okay. Sewing all layers together. So we have the 1/4 inch stitched here, all the way down and all through all layers. And then we're going to fold the bill's lining away from that seam allowance. And then we're going to stitch down another 1/16 of an inch from that 1/4 inch stitching, making sure that our bill's pocket lining piece is folded back. So now everything's going to look like this right now. And we're going to stitch down here 1/16 of an inch from that first stitch 1/4 inch stitch line. Alrighty, and then, sorry, my nose. Okay, and we're now going to trim this off at 1/8 of an inch seam allowance. Use this guy. Do it on this side from that stitch line. That's where it's folded. Okay, and that just helps to even out that edge. There we go. Okay, so now we have a nice straight edge here. And this is kind of what we have at the moment. Okay, and I have already done the zipper pocket, which is the next step in the pattern. Didn't come out straight. All right. All right, so we have already completed our outer piece. We did that first. All right, so we're going to attach. Let's make sure I got this right. Okay, so we have this. It's not as wide as I'd want it. Okay, we are left with this. Fold open this strip. That's what she has. Okay. Not quite straight, but that's okay. So now we have that. I've done the zipper. Okay. So we're going to take right sides together. We're going to put this together. I'm going to take the zipper, put it into the center. Open up this pocket here. We're going to flip the card slots to the left, line up our raw edges of the bills pocket with our exterior and clip. Just want to make sure that stays lined up at the top there. Line up your raw edges. Okay, like so. And that's flipped open. So right sides together. And we're going to sew this together at 1/4 inch seam allowance. Okay. Alrighty. Okay, so sew 1/4 inch, flip the bills pocket closed. So we're going to take the bills pocket and flip it closed. So close this up. And I think, and then what we do is put the outer wall of the bills pocket together on the right side and sew it 1/4 inch. Flip the bills pocket closed. Then clip the left side of the outer edge to the left side of this strip. Doesn't matter how many times I do a pattern, I always wind up having to keep looking at it. I don't remember how to do things at times. All right, now we're just going to clip all that together. Okay, just like that. So it's all wrong side showing. And we're going to sew this together at 1/4 inch seam allowance. Do it this side because I've got my double-sided tape there. All right, just give me a second. I've got double-sided tape here from the RFID, and I don't want to be sewing that along my sewing machine bed because it'll stick. And get it off. There we go. All right, let's clip it back together along that strip. And then after I sew this on, I will be flipping it right side out. That's better. Now we're not sticking everywhere. Okay, sew this at 1/4 inch seam allowance. All right, So this is what we have so far, just a big tube. And we're going to now turn this right side out. Holy moly. Hold on, I need to put some double-sided tape down that because it's not stitched in. All right, just to hold that RFID into place. Don't cut your RFID smaller than your actual exterior. Make sure it's all the same size or it won't get caught in the stitching. Don't do as I do. Get this in. I have arthritis in my thumb joints, so sometimes this is hard to turn for me. All right, let's stick it in there. Oh, Nancy, I'm just seeing what you post that you just lost your mom yesterday. I'm sorry to hear that. She was 97. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that, Nancy. Come on. This is where if I was recording this, I'd be stopping the camera and spending an hour turning. Holy smokes. Come on, get out of there. Thank God this fabric is flexible enough, and now it's all wrinkled. Okay, marathon turning is over. All right. Trying to fold everything. So what we need to do is to roll our seams along here so that you're going to have a little bit of your exterior peeking out here. Flip it. So it's almost like 1/8 of an inch showing. Oh, Nancy says, time for the hair dryer. Yeah, I never think of that. I have one in here somewhere, but I never think of it. Okay. So we've got it rolled like this, and then we're going to keep this open. Kind of fold it all down. Fold this all together so that that's that little tiny strip here. Hard to see because it's the black fabric. And then that creates another side on this side of that nice edging. Just make sure everything's flat. And then clip that. So what you're trying to accomplish here is that this decorative side edging and on the other side are pretty much the same width each so that they look even. Yes, I'm very lucky that I still have my mom. Like I said, we just moved her into a independent living retirement here in Wasaga Beach, and it's brand new. And they're wonderful there. Everybody's so happy, and she has people to talk to now. All right, so there's the wrinkled look on this side. This is how it looks on this side. And we're going to top stitch on the right side down this edge, and on this side down this edge, but keep your card slots out of the way of the top stitching, because if you top stitch it down, you're going to close up your bill section. So we'll just top stitch that down. But make sure it's flat because you've got a lot of layers here. Trying to get this looking straighter. Okay. And we'll top stitch at 1/8 of an inch seam allowance. Down both sides. And then down the other side, this clip side, but make sure that your card slots get flipped open so they're not part of, they don't get caught in that top stitching. This wallet works up really fast. It's a great scrap buster. It works up really fast. It'd be great for craft markets. It's like the Lori's accordion wallet. It works up very fast because with the accordion wallet, you're not making the innards. You're just, you're sewing them in. Okay, my nose. Holy smokes. All right. So this is what we have so far. And the top stitching done on either side. You're not going to really see it on this side because it kind of gets encompassed almost like a stitch in the ditch, I think it's called. All right, now okay, so now we're going to we have our pattern piece H, which is the foam insert. So you should have 2 pieces of those. And we're going to slide them into the top and the bottom. Slide them in. Well, see, I just messed this up. I wasn't supposed to top stitch yet. I had to get the foam in there first. So yeah, like I said, how many times have I made this wallet now? And I've now made a mistake, but that's okay. You guys get to see that, you know what? Not everything is perfect with us, guys. When I do my video tutorials, you don't see the mistakes I make because I get to edit them out. And we're all human. So don't top stitch yet. I'm going to pick out my top stitching because the foam has to go in first. Oh, my bucket bag fell off my desk. Yeah, so there's the bucket bag, the Marzia bucket bag I made, and that's what this wallet's going to match. So this is really pretty. All right, so let's get back to picking out my top stitching. Good grief. Oh. At least I'll be stitching over those stitch marks. They do eventually come out, though. Oops-a-daisy. Oh, that's my daughter calling. I'll have to talk to her later. All right, one side is done and picked out. Oh, cripes. All right, one side. Now let's pick out the other side. Chat amongst yourselves. going to take a few minutes. So Nancy uses a hair dryer and rubs it over top of the holes, and that works for her. Yeah, so that works too. What happened with when I did the Marsia, I went and top stitched wrong. So you can, there's still the holes there, but I figure that when the you squish it all together with the grommets and close it, that it'll help it'll help hide those stitch marks. There's always a mistake. Getting there, guys. Okay, almost there. So I'll be releasing within the next another day or so, probably 2 days. I'll be releasing the tutorial on that mustard color Marsia bucket bag that I recorded a few days ago. Alrighty. So pretend that didn't happen, that I made a mistake. So there's where we're at right now. We're going to take our 2 pieces of our foam and fit them inside your piece, but make sure that you have it right side up so that you're sliding your foam pieces into just behind the top piece here, and that they're going to slide over top of your seam allowance. Getting kind of stuck, I think, because of the... And we're going to line up the top edge of the foam with the top edge of the bag of the wallet. And I'll show you where the foam needs to be sitting inside, and it'll slide in easier. And you only have a foam piece on the top and one here, and then nothing in the center, and that creates a better fold. All right, there we go. Okay, so ensure that your foam is lined up with your top edge. Okay, if it peeks out a little bit, that's okay too. All right, so we have the foam in there, and where you want it to be is right back onto your exterior. And then your seams, the seams will go over top of the foam. So it kind of sits in there like a little trough. And then do the same for the other side. Get that seam allowance opened up here on the inside. Okay. Come on, get in. There we go. It doesn't want to go in. It's catching on the inside. Okay, so I have that in there as well, and tucked in behind the seam allowance. All right, now we're going to go back and clip those sides and top stitch them. Oh, my phone doesn't want to go in all the way. There we go. All right, so we're just going to clip those sides. I knew something was wrong when I was doing this. Do overtime. Fold that back, flatten that out, and clip. And that should be even on the other side, and I'll check. So we're not clipping the card slots down yet. We're not doing anything to hold the card slots in. They're still hanging loose. Okay, so I am going to stitch down this side and then take the card slots, open the card slots up and stitch down this side. 1/8 of an inch seam allowance. Do that again. And that'll hold your foam into place. And the other side, but make sure that when you do the other side, your card slots are not in the way and they're not being sewn down. Oops, thread's caught. Okay, so there is our wallet so far. You can see that on either side and on this side, you have that nice, it looks like a nice trim on either side. So I'm just going to kind of burn those threadies off, corners. And now we're going to put our turn lock on. So we're going to do this lock first. But before we're supposed to baste across the top and the bottom, but before we do that, I just want to make sure that when everything's together, I'm going to kind of dry fit it just to make sure that this is thick enough and that I don't have to put any kind of extra little insert into here so that it catches. I know I'm putting it on backwards, but I just want to make sure everything's going to fit okay, and it looks like it's going to. All right. So now is the time where we will secure our card slots into place. And I'm just going to clip the top edge and the bottom edge, and then we're going to baste across at 1/4 of an inch seam allowance. Hold that down. I'm going to have to trim this one edge. Okay. Or baste even out 1/8 of an inch, we'll do it, but we're going to be picking out some of those stitches for how we finish off the unique closure. Oh, get in there. Oop, my threads come out from under there. Huh. All right, I'm just going to trim off these edges. Oh, so Nancy says she pulls the closed ends outward to make it fit onto the wallet easier before closing it up. Okay, so the first one we're going to put on is the, so there is our wallet folded, and I put my bag tag closer to the bottom than in the center, like I've got it more centered on this one. So the back part is the flip lock part, and that's the easy one to put on. So we're going to be putting this one on first. Your holes, screw holes, will go into the on the inside. And I just want to grab a little there. I take my double-sided tape ring and I put my screws inside there so I don't lose them. All right, so this should fit over top of this, and it does slide in pretty good. So you're putting the flip lock part onto the back of the wallet where your zipper pocket is. And that will fit in there really nice. It takes a bit of finagling to get it in there, but I'm just dry fitting it. All right. And you take your stylus as well, or a flat end screwdriver. I had one out here. Flat edge screwdriver. And that helps push that up into the wallet. Now, one of the things that I do, and Lori does this and Barb does this too on the accordion wallets, I always put glue inside here to help hold it in place. I've started doing that with my magnetic snaps and my bag tags as well, because my new bag tags seem to sit higher off the fabric, and it kind of leaves a gap. And I find that the magnetic snaps do the same thing. So I've started putting Beacon's Fabri-Tac on the the wrong side of the magnetic snaps, or the my bag tag. This one is an old bag tag, so I don't have to worry about that. And I just kind of tap this down so it kind of helps it to fall, and put this onto your clasp. The glue will help hold it into place. This goes on really nice. Take your flathead screwdriver and you can push it up into it, which will push it in there more better. Or take your stylus and pop it into the holes and then push it up. That's a lot of times what I do as well. On the other side, it's a little more, you got to be careful because you don't want to make any marks on your fabric. So, all right, take my screwdriver and we'll screw those screws in. Well, that's the zipper that I'm feeling. Yeah. Oops, that went in crooked. All right, so there is our flip lock on this side. Now on this one, it's a little different. So we're going to dry fit the one with the hole on. So this is where we're going to make that really nice finished lock, the hole for in the lock thing, majigger. All right, so dry fit this on. And then you're going to be doing a little bit of marking. Oh, come on, get in there. It was going in. There we go. There we go. Fit that on. All right, this is where I'm going to still have to fit it in there. Make sure it's all shoved up in there. Okay, so you can see on here, you can see the material sticking through here because we have to cut this hole. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a pen or a marker, and then we're going to mark along the curve on both sides. Get in there really good with that. We're not cutting anything yet. Okay, so you can just see my marks there. And then what we're going to do is on either side of these curves, we're going to draw a line 1/8 of an inch away from each of these curves. And then 3/8 of an inch down from the top. And we'll draw another straight line doing that. Get my ruler. Okay, so it's 1/8 of an inch from the curve, and then 3/8 of an inch. I'm going to use it this way. Oh, good grief. Oh, there we go. All right, so that's 1/8 of an inch away from the edge and 3/8 of an inch, and then draw a line, a vertical line down from the top edge. 1, 2, 3. Okay. I swear I measure things and then it gets messed up. All right, that's 1/8. Is that 1/8? That's 1/8, and 1, 2, 3. Sorry, I talk a lot to myself. I tell everybody I'm self-employed and I'm having a staff meeting. And I talk to myself. Oh, there goes my cap. All right. So there I've made my lines 1/8 of an inch from the curve and 3/8 of an inch down on both sides. And then we're going to cut those lines that we just made. Don't go any longer. All right, then you're going to take your seam ripper and you're going to pick out that stitching in the center there. Okay, so this is what you're left, this is what you're left with on the right side, and then on the wrong side, this is what you're left with. So now what we're going to do is we're going to fold back out of the way the exterior piece and only. So we're just going to fold back the exterior piece, and then we're going to fold back one layer of lining, and then we're going to cut everything else out that's in the center. And I found the easiest way to do that. Oh, Frankie's here. Hello, pretty kitty. Yeah, you don't like storms. Just fold that one corner out of the way, and that'll help you get in there to cut all that center stuff out. All right, so there, all that center stuff has now been cut out. All right, on the lining piece that's left, take a double-sided tape, just a little tiny piece. This is not in the pattern. This is what I did to help hold it down, and put the double-sided tape across this edge of the lining, top edge of that lining. And then we're going to take that top edge of that lining and we're going to tuck it in behind that front exterior piece and fold it over the foam that's there. Just like that. Put another piece of double-sided tape along the top edge of the exterior piece. And then take that and fold that down against itself in behind. Just kind of fold that down inside and make sure it lines up with your folded nylon, your folded lining, like that. You're going to have a gap. Put another piece of double-sided tape in here, and I'm going to use 1/4 inch, and that'll help hold it better. Oops. Okay, and just take a little piece, tuck that inside, and then squish your pieces together. You have too much double-sided tape there. This is a really neat way to finish off the edge of this lock mechanism. And there, I've got the double-sided tape there. And pull your backing off. You can probably stick your Beacon's Fabri-Tac or glue down in there too, but double-sided tape is our friend. Okay, and there we have a finished look to our lock opening, our hole opening. And then again, the same thing. I'm just going to take the Beacon's Fabri-Tac and run a bead on the inside of my lock mechanism piece. But I'm not going to go straight across the back. I'm going to stop where that hole is, or else it'll all come oozing out. Hey, Frankie. Yes, you're such a pretty girl. You're such a pretty kitty. Frankie with her green eyes. Her eyes are the color of, you know, those candy mint leaves that have the sugar coating? That's the color of her green eyes. So pretty. Okay. Sorry for the noise. All right, and then with the screw holes on the inside to the inside of your bag or your wallet. Okay, I've been on almost 2 hours. Fit your lock mechanism over top. It'll be a little finicky as we go over that hole where that opening is. Thank God for nails. Tuck that in on the underside. One thing about the Beacon's Fabri-Tac glue, it's if there's any if you get any oozing out or anything like that, it wipes off very easily. Which I've got some coming out of the end. Okay, I probably could have come down a little bit more with that. Okay, and I'm going to screw my screws in. What did I do with them? Uh-oh. Where'd my oh, there they are. I moved my tape. Okay. Sorry if I guess my head won't be in the way. All right, screw them down. Nope, I'm going backwards. And one more screw, and then we're done. Get that in there. Push that down. I've got too much material popping up here. I probably could have cut it further down, but that's okay. There it is, guys. Isn't that the cutest little wallet ever? Oops. Butterfingers today. I got to push that down. Got a little bit of an edge sticking up. That is so cute. All right, let's move you guys so I can see you or you can see me. All right, I don't want to pull this off. Okay. Whew. All right. Put that down. Oh, Julie says, where did I get that cool screwdriver? Amazon. I have the punches, Barbie, for the to make those holes. I haven't used them yet, and I was going to use them when I saw the this Juniper wallet pattern come out, because that's what I thought, and I thought, oh great, I get to use my punches. And then she had this really cool way to finish the edge of that hole, so I've never used the punches yet. So anyhow, yeah, so this screwdriver, I'll show you guys. All these things from Amazon. So I bought this on Amazon Prime Days a year and a half ago. I've only charged it once. Like, I haven't recharged it since I first got it. And it's a Soleil wear. It comes in this really cute thing and case, and it pops in here. You just pull the screw heads off, and it pops in here. And then when it's all together, when you put this all together, then it's got this Class C charging port. You can charge it right from here. But I've only ever charged it the one time when I first got it. So, and I only ever used the one screw bit. It comes with all of these really, really cool things. I don't know what that is, but it comes with that. It comes with all of these different screw bits, and on the other side too. I've never used any of this other stuff, so it's really cool. I think it came with some tweezers as well that I pulled out. But so anyhow, that's from Amazon. So there is our Juniper. I'm just going to move that down a bit and then move back. There's our Juniper wallet, clasp wallet from Emmaline bags. I do like the look of a number 5 zipper tape in here better than the number 3. So with the clasp opening, it gives it's more of a finished look than when I messed up my very first one, because I didn't finish the raw edges inside. And have to file those down or whatever. But yeah, so there is the Juniper wallet from Emmaline Bags. I think this is so cute. And like I said, I wanted to make it to match, because this tutorial's coming up in another day or two, is the Marsia bucket bag from Core Threads that I made, and then using the Sam fabric faux leather, and this is of course in sunflower color. It's just gorgeous, and this floral tone on tone with the solid color. And how pretty is that? I love this bag. I'm really liking it. If I didn't make the strap on this the way she has it in the pattern, but what I should have done, because this floral print is thinner than the solid, and really I should have made the strap 4 inches wide, folded into the center and folded into the center. And my handles I've also made with the coordinating color as well. So I'm kind of liking this bag with the purse feet on the bottom as well. And now we have a matching wallet. The only thing is the lock clasp is antique brushed brass, whereas all of my hardware is gunmetal on the bag, except for my grommets, which are nickel. So this is the grommet kit that I bought from Amazon. I need my own toolbox in here. It's just, you know, I never was into tools. Oh, hold on. There you go. Okay. I touched something. Can you see me okay? All right, good. I touched another screen, part of the screen. All right, so this is the kit, the grommet kit that I got from Amazon. And it's really, really cool. So it comes like this. There's the thing to squish your grommets on, because this was a new skill that I learned while making that Marsia bag. And it has 3 different grommet size dies to use on this. So when you take this out, then you have this whole thing full of grommets. So these are, I'm not sure, they're 6 millimeter, 10 millimeter, and 12 millimeter. So 12, 10, and 6. So the Marsia bag calls for 10 millimeter. It also comes with, you know, so you have your front part of your grommet and then the back part of the grommet. And then it comes with the 3 punches to punch your holes for your grommets. So the 3 different sizes it comes with. The one thing about this tool is it says that when you squish your grommets in, that it will cut the material. It will cut the material at the same time, which it does only if it's thin enough. So it's better to punch your holes first, then do the grommet, because I couldn't squeeze it to punch the holes and set the grommets at the same time. And it is on a ratchet kind of thing. So you have to squeeze it all the way and then let it go. And when you're doing it, when you're setting your grommets, even with thin faux leather or vinyl, I had trouble squeezing this. Not great strength in my hands. I've had carpal tunnel surgery done on both wrists. And what I had to do was I had to ratchet it in and then put this handle down on my tabletop and then push from the top, almost like but the rivet press for my rivets. And then I was able to do it. But it took a lot, and there are 12 rivets in that bag to do. So it's a really neat tool. Why is it not closing? Oh, anyways, it's a really neat tool to invest in. So I kind of invested in a few things, but yeah, so that's the grommet kit that I got from Amazon. But anyhow, I just want to see what the comments are. And okay, so I really like the method too, blah, blah, blah. Thanks, Barb. And so, yeah, I love the sunflower. This was my daughter Brenna's favorite color, and she loves sunflowers. Her favorite flowers were sunflowers. So kind of did this in memory of her. And you're welcome, Valerie. And yes, great that you're able to catch a live. I was going to do a key fob, but I think we'll cut it short because I've been on just over 2 hours. And anyhow, so yeah, so thanks, Nancy, for posting all the links. All of the links to things I've shown you today, other than that little screwdriver, are in the description box below. So the pattern, the grommet, I think the grommet doohickey. If not, then the grommet link will be in the when the tutorial comes out for this Marsia. But isn't that a great bag? I know Barbie has done a tutorial on this bag already. The only thing is with this bag is I like being able to access my phone really fast. And I find, I mean, I have the Samsung S25 Ultra and it sticks up quite a bit, but it does stay in there, especially if I put it in the back pocket and have that up against my bag. There's lots of room for a water bottle. You can stick in the side, pretend that's a water bottle. But you could, if you wanted to make these taller, because there would be room, it would take away from the contrast here, but you could, on these side pockets and the lining, you could probably add at least 1.5 inches more to the length to bring it up here. And then when all the seams are sewn, it'll maybe drop it by about 1 inch to give you a bit more height in your pockets, or upsize the bag pattern, print this out because this is printed at 100%. So print your pattern maybe at 110, 115%. That'll make a bigger bag. I don't know how much of a bigger bag, but that would upsize, excuse me, it would upsize your slip pockets as well. But I need a drink. Anyways, thank you guys so much for being here. I really appreciate it. And I appreciate that fact that you guys are all here. Thanks so much, Nancy, for posting all the links. And also, and for Barbie and Lori for being here, our YouTube royalty. So, I was going to say something, brain fart. Anyways, thanks so much for being here. These are the 3 Juniper wallets that I have made. Everything is all from Sam Fabric, except for the exterior on this is the Moroccan blue Mora faux leather. Like I said, it's the first one I made mistakes on it, made mistakes on all of these, and it matches the, I think it's the Hinterland from Lavender and Twine. I made this bag. It's one of the first bags that I made. I have to show you because we can't do Lavender and Twine tutorials, but this is all with Mora faux leather. It's with the Moroccan blue Mora faux leather, which matches the wallet, and the purple grape Mora faux leather. But anyways, and then the interior canvas is from Country Cow Designs. Anyhow, I made this for myself when it first came out, and I love the look of this bag. And then my mom saw it after I showed it to her after I made it. And it's one of the first bags I made, and she loved it. So I gave it to her. But what happened was, because there's a magnetic snap underneath this decorative flap, the female portion of the magnetic snap came off. So I thought, oh, I've got to put another one on. So I had to cut into the canvas, and I didn't have any more of this fabric left. So I had to cut into the canvas and take everything apart, pull the old magnetic snap off, put the new female portion on, put it through, and then I had to make a patch. And I just used my Beacons Fabri-Tac and made a patch to cover that hole. Anyhow, but it's so it doesn't, nobody's going to see it from the inside. But I do like this bag. It's a great bag as well, but that's what I made this one to match. But anyhow, I don't have a bag to match this one from Sam Fabric. That's the one that's in the tutorial, but this is the one we did today. So thanks a lot, guys, for being here. Thanks for everybody who have joined internationally. Well, of course, everybody's international from Canada, and all of the Canadians watching as well. So Donna, hi Donna, didn't realize you were here. You got the sewing machine light that I have in the background. Oh yeah. Okay, so this, I think it's BJ's fault. I think she posted it on Facebook, and then she posted the one that her husband Paul bought her. And I saw that. I saw it. So the link for this sewing machine light, and I have 360 on it at the top, etched in it. The website is www.b as in Bob, R as in Robert, Nini, N as in Nancy, I as in Igloo, N as in Nancy, I as in Igloo.com. They have all different kinds of lights like this, but they've got the sewing machine. So I chose style 2 only because where the needle plate is, it was on a bit, had a bit of an angle to the machine, and it has lines on the needle plate. And so I chose style 2. There are 4 different machine styles to choose from. And I got, I think, a 10-inch. Now, I can't remember who it was who posted on my 360 Handmade Bags Facebook group, but they bought the same one, but their flowers were painted. So it was a different website, obviously, but this is really cool because it's USB plug-in, and you just click the button, and see how it changes? And you can have it going all the different ways. It has solid colors. Some of them are just too busy, but it does all different kinds of neato things. Very strobe. And then you've got your solid colors that just stay there if you can get there. I had it at first, when I first hung it up, I had it on the purple, of course. There's the purple. Anyways, but that's the light. So www.brnini.com. So style 2 has the most lighting. Oh, okay. Well, that's good to know. Anyways, thanks a lot, Kathy. Thanks everybody so much for being here. Thanks for hanging out and watching how we do the, I never even showed you the inside. There's the inside of the wallet. I guess it would help to show you what the wallet looks like that you guys all might make. So here's our cash slot pocket. So here's some Canadian money. And this is what I love. I love the fact that you can put the cash in and you're not folding it in half. And then your card slots. So this is great because there's 4 card slots. They do fit really nice. I love a lot of card slots. That flip lock gets in the way. I'm just putting my cards in. Canadian dental plan, my health card. Thank God for our healthcare system. All right. So there are my 8 cards in here. And lots of room for your cash. And then when you fold it up, there you go. Isn't that, that's really cute. Oh, thanks, Nancy. She's on it. Yeah, the Juniper wallet is from Emmaline. It's an Emmaline Bags pattern. All righty. So guys, thanks a lot for being here and hanging out with me. Keep an eye out for the tutorial coming in another couple of days for the Marzia bucket bag that I actually recorded several days ago. And then I'll figure out what I'm going to do next for my next tutorial and my next live. Oh, Okay, so here I wanted to make mention. All right, so guess what? On July 7th of 2026 this year will be my 1 year anniversary of my YouTube channel. That's when I started last year. And I just want to, thanks to all of you guys for hanging out with me and getting me to this point in my channel. I have over 1,700 subscribers now. So my goal is to get to 2,000 subscribers in less than a month on my YouTube channel, but I'm trying to think. I want to do a YouTube live for my first birthday, my first YouTube birthday. So keep an eye out for that. It'll be a live. I'm trying to think of what I'm going to be doing. I have a few little things to do, maybe as giveaways. I'm not quite sure. I don't want to do too big giveaways because it is pricey with postage and stuff like that. Yeah, it's been a year already. And boy, have I learned a lot with you guys like Nancy and Nicole and all you guys that have hung out with me right from the start with all of my trial and errors, trying to get my tablet communicating with YouTube. And now this, because I like to be very simple and I don't want to have a lot of equipment. Less is more as far as I'm concerned. And I have finally figured out that in order for my lives not to have an issue with audio or the streaming cutting in and out, and one of my lives was pixeling. Well, all of them were pixeling. It's because of the fact that the tablet has an upload speed that's not equivalent to our Wi-Fi here. So finally, I connect directly to our internet modem with a very, very long 35-foot cable to plug into my tablet. So I have direct internet connection when I go live. And then I was having trouble with the audio, that it sounded like it was voice reduction or noise reduction, and it was just so I've got I'll see if I can turn on the wall here, and you'll see this in my videos too. See this little black thing? I bought a mic like Barbie and Lori might wear. Lori, I think, wears her earbuds, and of course everything I have is Android or Samsung, and I had a mic that system that I bought, that I was supposed to connect to the tablet and that I would wear here, and it wasn't working. It wasn't connecting. So this little thing I have on the wall, that is my very, very old Bluetooth Jabra thing that I used to connect to my phone when I was driving. And before the cars were able to connect directly to your phone. So that's how old that is. That is the only thing that works for my audio. It's this silly little thing. So I have it Velcroed onto the wall. I've taken off the earpiece, and Frankie took the little silicone thing that covered the ear thing. It's got a little tiny hole here. You're probably going to hear feedback on the mic now because I'm fiddling with it. Anyhow, I have to turn that on, and I have to make sure that my YouTube, that I have to stream through Chrome browser, will all connect. And I finally got it. But guys, thanks for hanging out with me for so long. And while I've worked through the technical difficulties with connecting my stuff to YouTube. But anyhow, so I'm thinking in the back of my mind what I'm going to do with my first anniversary, and I want to get that done. And it'll be something where I'll give you an email address that everybody, because if I've got a bunch of little things like, little sew-in labels and things like that I can do as giveaways and mail them out fairly easily, I hope. And then that way, it'll be a thing that you have to be present during the live when I do my Wheel of Names thing. And for you to for me to be able to send you something. Anyhow, I'll figure it all out and I'll let y'all know. But thanks a lot, everybody, for being here and for checking out the Juniper Clasp wallet from Emmaline Bags. And this is a really nice wallet as well. And so check it out, get the pattern, and make your own. But this will be, I think, a really big seller at your craft markets as well. All right, guys, thanks so much for being here. And we'll see you the next time at my next tutorial and my next live. All right, bye.